Part 12. Super Role Player. Author, Yuan-san Buletinji. Chapter 111. Seeking collection for recommendation, various requests. On April 9, 2012, the Spurs challenged the Jazz in an away game. The game has reached the final quarter. On the scoreboard, the Jazz was behind the former Spurs. The score was 97-97. The two sides drew and came to the home court. The Jazz, who lost 22 points in the last game, seemed to have recovered their form. The crazy energy scheme was given to the Jazz. With little motivation, they forced the Spurs to the last minute at home. At the last moment, Angzi didn't play for the reason. Angzi still didn't find his state. In fact, Angzi knew before the game. The green warning in the system has not disappeared, and it is still tenaciously nailed to the system interface. This represents an injury. The resulting sharp decline in attributes has not been restored. In this game, he is destined to not have any good conditions. There are only more than half a month left in the playoffs. It stands to reason that the Spurs will lose if they lose this game, but now the Jazz is a bit locked in the 8th in the West. The Jazz is the Spurs' first place in the playoffs. The opponent in the round, so Popovich still attaches great importance to it. This game is like a preview of the playoffs. The Spurs win this game, the playoffs will have the confidence to face the Jazz's Devils Home Energy Solution Arena. So, in the fourth quarter, Angzi was put on the bench. At the end of the game, there was nothing wrong with him. Angzi's data for this game has been fixed, with 0 of 5 shots, 0 points, and 2 rebounds. There is no other data. An 11 on the bench frowned. It's not going to work like this. It's almost the playoffs. If this state is not improved in a short time, will Popovich still use himself? Angzi expressed suspicion, and he began to worry about his current situation. On the field, the Spurs and the Jazz had the last 5 minutes left in the game. In these last 5 minutes, the Jazz, amid the frenzied cheering of all the fans in the Energy Solution Arena, became more and more courageous and gradually showed momentum. In the last 5 minutes, there was a wave of offensive climaxes and a wave of 11-0, which directly took away the game. The Spurs lost their 10th game this season and lost to their opponents who may be the first round of the playoffs. Jazz. And Angzi's state has become a hidden danger for the Spurs. At the end of the game, the Jazz fans cheered wildly, winning the Spurs and their direct opponents in the playoffs, making them very excited and reluctant to leave. An 11 stood up, they were about to leave, but on the Jazz coach's side, Jeff Hornacek beckoned to an 11, and an 11 walked over. "And, you didn't play well in 2 consecutive games. I think you hit the rookie wall," Jeff Hornacek said as soon as he opened his mouth, the reason why Angzi is not in good shape. As the league retired player, the current coach, Jeff Hornacek knows very well what happened to Angzi. Angzi is in poor condition. Injuries are just a cause. The most important thing is that Angzi hit the rookie wall. In fact, Angzi is also very strange. It is obvious that his waist injury has healed a long time ago. Why does the system still give an icon of injury? Now, Angzi hears Jeff Hornacek's words, and everything is understood. Angzi is because of injuries, he triggered his rookie wall, he hit the wall, and at the end of the season, he hit the rookie wall. Then, what should I do now? The most important thing now is that you can't be anxious. Presumably Greg and the others have noticed it, so you can talk to them first. An 11 nodded and didn't say anything. In fact, an 11 knew that it was only a matter of time before he broke through the rookie wall. The most important thing was that Popovich would not give him this time, so talk to Popovich. It is still necessary to talk. The Spurs are ready to return to San Antonio. After playing the Jazz, the Spurs have 12 games left. Their current record is 44 wins and 10 losses, while the second largest Thunder in the West is 40 wins and 15 losses. The difference between the two sides is 9 games. In other words, as long as the Spurs win 3 of the remaining 12 games, the Spurs can lock the first place in the West. On the Eastern side, the Bulls have gradually established their advantage in the competition for the first place in the Eastern Conference. Their current record is 43 wins and 13 losses, while the second heat in the Eastern Conference is 39 wins and 15 losses. It's 6 games. Similarly, for the Bulls' remaining 10 games, they only need to win 4 games to secure the first place in the Eastern Conference. The difference between the Spurs and the Bulls is 4 games, and the gap is actually very large. So basically, the Spurs have also locked the league first. Most of the remaining 12 games are estimated to be Popovich. Give up. Giving up does not mean that they will not win, but that the Spurs will not try their best to win. The most important thing for the Spurs now is to maintain their form, and then rotate them reasonably, so as not to let the final part of the regular season drag down the players' physical fitness. On the way back to San Antonio, Anzi talked to Popovich. Popovich also pointed out that Anzi hit the rookie wall. And, I know your current situation, you hit the rookie wall. Then Mr. Greg, what should I do next? Popovich touched his chin, he thought about it, and said, the rookie wall, in fact, every rookie will meet, including Kahi. He has actually met the rookie wall. Before the All-Stars, he met the rookie wall, but after the All-Stars, Kahi broke the rookie wall. I can only say that your luck is too bad. Seeing that the playoffs are coming, this time you meet the rookie wall, not one good news, both for you and the team. In short, next, you have to play the game normally, train normally, don't worry, the state is to be found slowly, and there is no problem with your ability. Hearing that Popovich said this, Anzi was also relieved. As long as Popovich supports him, it will be okay. Although the system's attributes have dropped sharply, I don't know when it will recover, but I want to catch up with the postseason. The game is still too late. Popovich did not stop. He continued, at this time, you should actually upgrade your own abilities. You know, the rookie wall is actually related to your characteristics being discovered by others. If you come here at this time, once you upgrade yourself, maybe the rookie wall is directly broken by you. For example, Kahi, he breaks the rookie wall, relying on the improvement of his shooting. Popovich's words reminded Anzi all at once, yes. Upgrade. Now Anzi's rookie wall is actually not Anzi's own cause, but a problem with the system. If at this time, Anzi comes to an upgrade to stimulate the system, maybe the system can be restored to normal all at once, right? Anzi guessed, he felt that no matter what, he should give it a try. As Popovich said, book friends are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are all here. For mobile phone users, please go to read. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen San Buletinji. Chapter 112. As for the upgrade, Anzi suddenly became very anxious, but he wanted to upgrade now. It was really difficult. Don't even think about breaking the record to upgrade. In this state, let alone breaking the record, it is difficult to play a normal number on the court. Therefore, an 11 focused on training. Anzi's off-ball training has entered the third stage. At this stage, he has also entered the middle stage. He may enter the final stage when he is not sure. Abby has returned to Utah in the past 2 days. She will go back and spend a few days with her parents. Therefore, Anzi has become a single dog, and he can carry out extra training unscrupulously, because in the quiet yard, no one will disturb him. After practicing this way for a few days, the system didn't respond at all. The green injury warning still existed, but it was much better than before. Many attribute values began to rise slowly, but the rate of increase was a bit slow, making Anzi very anxious. In the team's training, Anzi's condition is also very bad. Popovich can only tell Anzi not to worry over and over again. Indeed, breaking through the rookie wall is really not anxious. If you are anxious, you may not be able to break through. Once you can't break through, this is the deadliest. Many rookies are the pinnacle players, but in fact they failed to break through the rookie wall, which eventually led to them being confused. During the 2 or 3 days of Angzi's frenzied training and eager to upgrade, the Spurs played 2 more games. Popovich did not give up Angzi and still gave Angzi a lot of playing time, which also caused the Spurs to lose one of the games. In these 2 games, one played against the Grizzlies. Angzi didn't have much time to play, because this game is a game that Popovich must win. At the beginning of the season, Popovich said that this season's game against the Grizzlies the Spurs couldn't lose a game. After this matchup, Popovich did just that. The second game was lost. The opponent was the Suns. They gave the Spurs their 11th defeat. In this way, the Spurs had no chance to tie the Bulls' record of the least loss in the regular season. Although that record is also a bit of a forced record. After all, the focus of the Bulls' 72 wins and 10 losses lies in 72 wins, not 10 losses. In these 2 games, Angzi only took 2 shots in the first game. Both times, they had missed 3-pointers and were in a terrible state. The second game was slightly better. He made 9 shots with 3 goals and scored 8 points. However, the defensive end was blown by the Suns' backup shooting guard veteran Michael Reed. The performance was not like a previous perimeter super defensive gate. As a result, the US media began to discover Angzi's problems. USA Today believes that Angzi is currently in poor condition and should be injured. The last time he was knocked down by Kobe's elbow, he returned to the locker room for treatment. After coming down, I took a break for 4 games, and it became like this after his comeback. Perhaps Angzi's injury did not heal at all. But the statement of USA Today was quickly refuted by ESPN. The reason is very simple. Since Angzi's injury has not healed yet, why is he forced to appear at this time? In the end, these 10 games are no longer important to the Spurs. There is no need for Angzi to fight with injuries all the time. What's more, the effect of this kind of battle with injuries is almost explosive. Yahoo Sports confided the real situation in one go. They believed that Angzi had hit the rookie wall. 1 of 7 shots, 0 of 5 shots, 0 of 2 shots, and 3 of 9 shots. This is the data that Angzi has handed over in the last 4 games. This is only the dismal performance of Angzi on the offensive end. If you count the defensive end, then this data cannot be read. What made Angzi, who was still a 3-point shooter and defensive gate on the outside, turned into this? Some people say that it is an injury, and some people say that Angzi is originally this strength. In fact, Angzi has hit the rookie wall. Every rookie will meet the rookie wall sooner or later. Obviously, Angzi's time to meet the rookie wall is a bit late, and he meets the rookie wall at the end of the regular season. His luck is very bad. The rookie wall, to some extent, is like the NBA version of Santa Claus. He will come to you in a certain period of time. When he finds you, you will be in a state of nothing for a certain period of time, just like there is an invisible wall in front of you. Block the way forward. And Angzi is now in such a situation. As for whether it can break through the rookie wall, it is not certain. There are many rookies who have not broken through the rookie wall in history, but everyone who broke through has gained a firm foothold in the NBA. Heal. For the rookie wall, Angzi also has its own understanding these days. In an interview with domestic reporters, Angzi said, "I feel very tired during this period of time. Sometimes it's like walking in quicksand. At that time I even felt that I was over, but Coach Popo told me that the most important thing to break through the rookie wall is to be firm and not to be anxious." But Angzi still comforted the group of domestic reporters who were worried about him, "But don't worry about it. It will be a matter of time before you break the rookie wall, sooner or later, you will always succeed." Angzi was the one who was in the quagmire, but in the end he became a comforter, but his comfort was very effective. The reports sent back to China by this group of reporters were all, Angzi hit the rookie wall and said that he did not know when he could break the rookie wall, but he was confident of breaking the rookie wall. The confidence is enough. Angzi looked at the comments of major domestic portals and the discussions in major forums, and was full of encouragement to Angzi. Angzi felt that he was suddenly full of strength. After playing the Suns, the Spurs met the Warriors at home again. Angzi still did not come out of the quagmire of the rookie wall, but the situation is much better, and many attribute values have begun to slowly rise back, such as the single defense attribute has risen to 70. It's just that it's not enough just to rise to this level. Counting this game against the Warriors, there are 10 games left in the regular season and time is running out. Playing the Warriors, an 11 was still on the bench, but before half of the first quarter, Popovich replaced an 11 on the court. To play against a weak team like the Warriors, Popovich must find more status for Angzi. The status is actually found out by playing games. As soon as Angzi came out, his form was still very bad. He missed an open three-pointer. In turn, Klay Thompson made a three-pointer. This time Angzi was blocked by the rookie wall, which made Klay Thompson breathe out. Last time, Angzi the defending Klay Thompson was so miserable, this time Klay Thompson can finally fight back. But Angzi doesn't care, so what if he calls back? You called back when I was away, can you count it? At the end of the game with the Warriors, Angzi had another bad statistic of 4 of 12 shots. With the defensive end, Klay Thompson made 11 of 17 shots and scored 25 points. This rookie wall seems to have taken root. Book friends are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are available at mobile phone users, please go to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen Sanbuletinji. Chapter 113. Book Friend Group, 365851685, enter the group exchange plot, and the comments in the book review area, I will also reply. For the rookie wall, Yuen will explain it again. The rookie wall in this article is that the protagonist and the people around the protagonist think that the protagonist has hit the rookie wall. In fact, it is not the rookie wall, but the attribute increase caused by the system's misjudgment. The success of the failure, which eventually led to the bad performance of the protagonist, is not a real rookie wall. I don't understand why several people have been holding on to the definition of rookie wall. Moreover, the rookie wall that some people understand is still wrong. On April 15, 2012, Angzi woke up early. A person's life was messy. He cleaned himself up a bit, took a piece of bread from the refrigerator and gnawed it up, and then went out to train. Recently, he has been training and retraining, and he has completely ignored other things. He just wants to complete the special training for the ball through this kind of training. At this time, in Los Angeles, Bryant ended his early morning training. He started at 4 o'clock and continued to practice until 8 o'clock in the morning. The other Lakers players arrived at the arena. Because there was a game the next day, reporters from major media. They also walked into the training hall with long guns and short cannons. Kobe wiped his sweat, he walked to the sidelines, and the reporters immediately surrounded him. Kobe, you will face the Spurs again in the next game, what do you think? Kobe, we'll face Angzi again soon, what do you think? Kobe, will you try your best to win the next game against the Spurs? After all, the regular season is almost over. Kobe Bryant tilted his head, made a perfect arc at the corner of his mouth, and said, okay, one by one. Originally, Kobe didn't plan to pay attention to these reporters. After all, no one could interrupt his training, but when he heard an 11's name, Kobe couldn't help but stop. The last time the Lakers played the Spurs, Anzi gave Kobe a final shot, plus a key ball and a lure shot. Kobe has always kept in mind that there are not many things that can prevent him from being like this in the NBA, and Kobe feels that the catch before the end of the game is a shame in his career, and Kobe has always wanted to find this place back. Kobe, you are going to face the Spurs again in the next game. You lost the last game. Have you ever thought of revenge this time? On the first question, Kobe didn't think about it. We will definitely win the next game. There was no mention of revenge, but the attitude is already here. Then Kobe, what do you think of Anzi in the Spurs formation? At the end of the last game, he gave you a catch and a lure shot. Sure enough, a reporter raised this question. Kobe's eyes moved, and then replied, he is a very strong perimeter defender, but that's all. I won't give him any chance in the next game. The reporter was taken aback when he heard Kobe's answer, and then asked, Kobe, have you followed him lately? Kobe was also taken aback, paying attention to Anzi. Why should he pay attention to Anzi, just to catch the risk? Stop joking. So Kobe shook his head. No, he is not worthy of my attention. Kobe, in the last few games, Anzi hit the rookie wall. After playing the Lakers, he never performed well. Kobe smiled. Is that so boring? Looking at the expression, he seemed very happy, and there was no sense of boringness at all. This is the end of the interview. Because there is still one day before the game, the reporters immediately wrote a pre-match report and posted it on their respective homepages. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the Spurs training hasn't started yet. Anzi gritted his teeth and has to practice again. He feels that his off-ball is about to upgrade. Well, for the last goal, from pile 1 to pile 4, the target is in area 5, he gave himself an order, and Anzi swiftly stepped forward and rushed to area 5. Bypass stake 1, and then bypass stake 4. Finally, within the prescribed time, reached the 5th area, picked up the basketball on the ground. Anzi raised his hand and threw it out. Come in. Anzi stood there and took a breath, and then only heard a ding in his head, and an electronic audio sounded, system upgrade. The system has been upgraded. Finally upgraded. Anzi was full of joy, and after training for so long, he finally upgraded. But he didn't have time to be happy, because Anzi was forced to find that he was already late, even if he started from home at this time. Drove the Land Rover to the Spurs training hall. Anzi was late, but Popovich didn't say anything, because a fool can see that Anzi has been training at home for a long time before coming to the arena to train. The system has been upgraded, and it will take a while to upgrade. Anzi practiced the ball quietly, because there will be a game tomorrow, and now the system has also been upgraded. Anzi didn't practice much in the morning, and his training focused on recovery. At noon, after eating a nutritious meal, Anzi took a rest in the locker room and chatted with a few teammates by the way. And, I heard that your girlfriend is not in San Antonio now. The big fat guy Duen Blairgia was lying on the massage chair in the dressing room, with lustful eyes in his eyes. Anzi didn't know why, so he nodded. Hey, since your girlfriend is not there, how many will go out with your brother tomorrow? Yes, go out with us, and keep you satisfied. You only need to treat you. Gary Neal on the side also interjected. It seems that these few are often playing together. Anzi shook his head and said with a smile, I'm afraid it won't work. We will have a game tomorrow. DeJuan Blair then reacted, yes, we will have a game tomorrow. Who seems to be playing? Hit the Lakers, Gary Neal added. Yes, it's okay to hit the Lakers. Just hit the Lakers. After playing the Lakers, you can go to a bar in Los Angeles. May still meet Hollywood beauties, Duen Blair said. She laughed obscenely, but Anzi was out of this mood. The next game is actually to beat the Lakers. I rely on. Isn't this God helping me too? An 11 couldn't help shouting in his heart. He really didn't know that he would play the Lakers in the next game. He had been training for this period of time and he didn't care about anything, and he didn't want to care about the game. Now he heard his opponent in the next game. It was actually the Lakers that Angzi was excited. System upgrade, breaking the rookie wall, Angzi's revenge against Kobe is here. Kobe. Wait for me. I will beat your mother without knowing you. In the afternoon, when the training is over, the system upgrade is finally completed. With a ding sound, the electronic tone sounded again, the system upgrade is complete, and the host can enter the system to view the upgrade content. Angzi entered the system. As soon as he entered the system interface, Angzi breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, the green sign of injury and disease has disappeared, and the attribute value of the attribute bar interface has returned to normal state, and the newly upgraded content is similar to what Angzi guessed. His off-ball upgrade, but the bonus number given by the system made an 11's mouth open in surprise. Damn, it's actually a ball-free run with a bonus of 70 or 70, Angzi was stunned. He thought about it carefully. He thought this might be the credit of Jeff Hornacek. The special training without the ball can help Angzi directly train an attribute to 70. This Nima is going to be against the sky, Angzi could only leave a sigh, and then followed up with a heroic sentence, and Hansen, break through the rookie wall and come back. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen San Buletinji. Chapter 114. On April 16, 2012, the Spurs flew to Los Angeles to challenge the Lakers away. The Spurs came to Los Angeles earlier, but it's not that they didn't control the time, but they had other arrangements before the game. After TJ Ford's shoulder injury surgery, he returned to his home in Los Angeles to recuperate. This time the Spurs came to Los Angeles to play. Popovich wanted to see TJ Ford. After all, TJ Ford originally had to follow the team to play the postseason season. In the match, he was injured and retired due to injury. I have to say that it is a pity. Popovich did not ask all the players to go, nor did he even mention it in the team. He was just going to take the GDP-3 old men. After Angzi knew about it, he went with it. Arriving in Los Angeles, the other Spurs players, led by assistant coach Mike Budenholzer, went to the Staples Arena to adapt to the venue, while Angzi and GDP San Lau followed Popovich in a nanny car. All the way towards Los Angeles Beverly Hills. TJ Ford now lives in an apartment at the foot of Beverly Hills. Popovich had contacted TJ Ford before they came, so when Angzi and the others rang the doorbell, the door clicked open. "Mr. Gregg, you are here, please come in quickly." It was TJ Ford's wife who opened the door, and an 11 nodded towards her as a greeting. Followed Popovich and they walked in, and Mrs. Ford began to say, "Terrence can't do too much strenuous exercise right now, so he is now lying on the sofa in the living room waiting for you." After a few steps, Angzi saw TJ Ford lying on the sofa, and several people walked up to greet him with a smile. "Hi, Terrence, it's been a long time since I saw you, depending on how you look, you're recovering pretty well." TJ Ford also said with a smile, "Long time no see, a few." Seeing Angzi, TJ Ford smiled again and said, I have been playing well recently, keep on working hard." An 11 nodded, "Well, I will, Terrence." Angzi stood next to the sofa, listening to Popovich chatting with TJ Ford. Angzi looked around at this apartment of TJ Ford. The apartment is small and the decoration of the home is very simple. Although it is located under the Beverly Hills, the mansions on the mountain are not comparable at all, but think about it. With the income of TJ Ford for so many years, a mansion on the Beverly Hills is estimated to be unaffordable. Thinking of this, Angzi feels a little bit emotional. It seems that professional players are a glorious and money-making job, but who knows the hardship behind this? And if you can't become a superstar, the money you earn is very small. For example, TJ Ford is also a starting player in the league. When you retire, you can only afford to buy an apartment like this. After a few words, Popovich bid farewell to TJ Ford, and Angie waved his hand and waved goodbye to TJ Ford, who had been helping him. On the way to Staples, Angie was a little melancholy. Looking at the huge Hollywood sign on the mountain in the distance, Angie sighed deeply. Tony Parker laughed out loud. "Ann? Why, is there something upsetting? Tell Big Brother." Manu Ginobili also joked, "Ha ha, Tony, don't ask. I think Ann is thinking, why is he an NBA player and not a Hollywood movie star? You didn't look at him. Hollywood sign." Angie rolled his eyes. To tell the truth, the GDP3 elders are really a bit disrespectful. The outside world knows too little about them. They are considered to be very honest. In fact, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili he utterly spoils whenever he has a chance, and Tim Duncan is a well-known sorrow in the team. No, I was thinking, originally Terrence wanted to get a championship ring at the end of his career, but as a result. An 11 sighed again and explained. Popovich in the front row spoke at this time, and, who told you that Terrence can't get the championship ring? Can he still get it? Of course, as long as we can win the season, he can get a championship ring. After all, he played so many regular season games with us, Popovich explained. Angie thoughtfully nodded. It turned out that the season, when the Spurs won the championship, Terrence could still get the championship ring, and that would have to work hard. Arrived in Staples, the game was about to begin. Angie went to the locker room to change his jersey, and waited for the admission ceremony to enter the stadium. Popovich has done the pre-match arrangement. In this game, Angie continued to substitute. In the locker room, teammates chatted happily, and soon a staff member came to remind that the game is about to begin and the Spurs must enter the field first. The admission ceremony began. The on-site DJ whispered the names of the Spurs players, and Staples buzzed. When the Lakers entered the field, the DJ's voice became louder, and the scene immediately changed from boos to cheers. The first one to appear is Pau Gasol. "Let's welcome this all-star power forward." The live DJ stretched the pitch, the Lakers played one after another, and Pau Gasol appeared first. Then Steve Blake, Sci-fi, Matt Barnes. Andrew Bynum was the second to last player, and Kobe Bryant, who was the last to appear, caused Staples to stand up and cheer. The last player to play is Black Mamba Kobe Bryant Lakers' greatest player. Watching Kobe Bryant come out in full cheers, an 11 squeezed his fists secretly. Others don't know. An 11 knows very well that he has been resurrected full of blood. In the game, his goal is to explode Kobe, but he still has to wait for the opportunity on the bench. Of course, in this game, Angie has another goal, which is to get back to the starting position. The game started quickly. The Spurs starting lineups were point guard Tony Parker, shooting guard Danny Green, small forward Kawhi Leonard, power forward Boris Diaw, and center Tim Duncan. For the Lakers, starting point guard Ramon Sessions, shooting guard Kobe Bryant, small forward Sci-fi, power forward Paul Gasol, center Andrew Bynum. Jump ball, Andrew Bynum won the ball with better bounce. The Lakers started the first wave of offense. Ramon Sessions took the ball through halftime, and Kobe Bryant was standing at a 45-degree angle, opening his hand for the ball. Kobe got the ball, and Danny Green, who defended him, was still a bit nervous. Kobe made a three-threat action, followed by a step out, and quickly broke through to the inside. When they reached a step within the three-point line, the Spurs had double-teamed. Without Angie, Popovich could only offer double-teaming tactics. Kobe rushed for 2 steps against the defense, and then went inside with an outside pass. The insider Paul Gasol got the basketball, and Boris Diaw succeeded in the strong play. The Lakers scored 2 points first and Kobe Bryant got an assist. Book friends are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are all at mobile phone users, please go to read. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen San Buletinji. Chapter 115. Thanks to the rudder of the Peninsula Desert City for the reward, 1 chapter plus more will be sent. N. How is it, how is the state today? Bored off the court, Duen Blair came over to chat with Angzi. He still thinks that Angzi invites him and Gary Neal out to go clubbing at night. It's okay, it's enough to deal with Kobe anyway. And 11 also pretended to be forced. Duen Blair was overjoyed when he heard it, he felt a chance. That is, who is Angzi, as long as there is such a lost state, to blow up Kobe Bryant, wouldn't it be easy? Listening to this passage of blowing himself up to heaven, and 11 rolled his eyes. The purpose of this guy was too obvious. And 11 ignored him, clubbing or something. Although Popovich doesn't care much, he is not so innocent. After the game, clubbing in Los Angeles, how to listen to it is not reliable, and also asked Angzi to pay for a treat, it is even more impossible for Angzi to go. Angzi grinned at Duen Blair, and then repeatedly said, watch the game, don't blow me too hard, I can't get off at that time, interrupted Duen Blair. On the field, because of the absence of Angzi, the Spurs did not play a one-sided game. Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green teamed up to defend Kobe Bryant. The effect was not very good. Kobe has always been threatened on the offensive end, and the Lakers have been chasing it. With the Spurs score, the game was very anxious. Kobe Bryant's breakthrough attracted double teams and he scored. Outside Sci-fi received the ball, made a three-pointer, and didn't score. Staples let out a sigh, but there is no other way, who can leave the Lakers without a reliable three-pointer? In fact, the Lakers have fallen in recent years, and some people have analyzed that the Lakers have not kept up with the development of the times. The Spurs, Heat, and Thunder have a large number of three-point shooters. The Spurs' Angzi and Danny Green, including Manu Ginobili, and the newly joined Patrick Mills are all very reliable three-point shooters, and the Heat also have Mike Miller, James Jones, Sean Battier and Marley Okamos and so on. On the Thunder side, Kevin Durant himself is a very reliable three-point shooter, plus James Harden, Quinn Cook, Sabos Frosa, etc., and the junior who won the championship last year. The Bulls also have Jason Terry, Karen Butler, Pija, Deshaun Stevenson. As for the Lakers, the most reliable three-point shooter in the past 2 years is Derek Fisher, who has been sent away. Now, the most reliable three-point shooter for the Lakers has become Steve Blake. Kobe made a lot of his own three-pointers, but also missed a lot, so it's not reliable at all. Kobe's three-pointer, according to Angzi's understanding, is that it is generally impossible to make it, and then he made it in an inexplicable wave. On the court, the Spurs' offense also failed. Kawhi Leonard failed to make a mid-range shot and the rebound was taken by Andrew Bynum. The Lakers dribble slowly over the half-court. Because of the existence of the Twin Towers, the Lakers have always played positional offensives. In the Phil Jackson era, they played a triangle tactic. What is more important is to fall into a positional battle and seek opportunities. Now, Brown is not a coach who is good at training offenses, but with the two cards of Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum in his hand, the Lakers can't play fast. Therefore, it is the Lakers' style that is slow. The Lakers slowly fell into the battle. Kobe was going to pass the ball, or a three-threat action, facing Kawhi Leonard's marking. Facing Kobe, Kawhi Leonard did not dare to use his death entanglement unscrupulously. Of course, he still tried his best to interfere with Kobe's ball, although it did not have much effect. Kobe chose Kawhi Leonard, he rushed to the free throw line, stepped on the free throw line, and shot a backward jumper. Danny Green's double teaming came late, and watched the basketball hollow into the frame, turning up a burst of white waves. Then, Tony Parker forced the ball to overtake Ramon Sessions. He accelerated the pace of the offense at the request of Popovich, but Ramon Sessions, who was following the defense, cut off the basketball. The basketball was snatched by Pau Gasol, a long pass. Kobe Bryant, who rushed to the front court, received the pass, a big step to avoid the interference of Danny Green. Rushing to the front court is a slash. Boom, Staples rang out huge cheers. Kobe Bryant arrogantly raised his dunk hand, and slowly retreated back to the back court. Kobe saw Anxi sitting absent-mindedly on the bench. He stretched out a finger and pointed to Anxi. Oh, oh. Kobe Bryant is provoking Anxi. Haha, it seems that Kobe still hasn't forgotten the catch half a month ago, but Anxi is in poor condition now. I am afraid it can't respond to Kobe's provocation. Taps explained that. Myers yelled loudly. An 11 on the sidelines also straightened up. MD, Kobe is provoking him. An 11 glanced at Popovich. Popovich did not intend to change. An 11 continued to bow his head, playing with his fingers. He's not in a hurry. Popovich will always let him play anyway. Look, Kobe isn't going to start now. If this continues, Popovich will inevitably not have the idea of letting Anxi go up and try. After scoring 4 points, Kobe performed very arrogantly. Of course, he also has arrogant capital. Now the Spurs use Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard to jointly defend Kobe, and they can't limit Kobe. Popovich couldn't help but sigh. If this time, Anxi broke through the rookie wall. Fortunately, the Spurs have not fallen behind. After all, the Spurs are not weaker than the Lakers in terms of hard power. However, once Kobe breaks out, the result of the game is not always certain. Back to the defensive end. Kobe played more aggressively. The Spurs continued to play the pass tactics. Tony Parker cut into the inside, divided the ball out. Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green made a cross with the help of the screen. Kawhi Leonard took the ball, and Kobe immediately rushed over. Leonard's mid-range shot was interrupted by Kobe and failed to make it. The Lakers, who had a clear inside advantage, grabbed the rebound, and Kobe directly opened his hand for the ball. Under Kawhi Leonard's on-the-spot counter grab, he led halftime. Rushed to the front court, Kobe made 3 moves and 2 moves, stepping on the three-point line to make a dry draw. Scream, enter again. After scoring 6 points in a row, the Lakers took the lead. Kobe showed fierce eyes and waved his hand fiercely. Beep. With a whistle, Popovich made a timeout gesture on the sidelines, and Kobe made a blizzard. At this time, he must call a timeout anyway to get Kobe's feel. However, after pausing, Popovich still looked at Anxi subconsciously. If, at this time, let Anxi go up and limit Kobe, wouldn't it be much better? Popovich hesitated a bit. To be honest, as the most intelligent coach in the league, this rarely happens to Popovich, especially since this game against the Lakers is not very important. But when he thinks that this game is not very important, Popovich's eyes light up. Since the outcome of this game is not important, it is even more important to let Anxi play. And, how are you doing now? Popovich glanced at Anxi. Anxi nodded immediately. Great, coach. He knew that he might be on the court. Well, wait for you to come on stage and replace Danny. Book friends are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are all at for mobile phone users. Please visit read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen Sanbuletinji. Chapter 117. 0. Let's change a chapter first. It should be already on the Sanjiang client. Everyone give me a bit, and vote for the recommendation. Anxi has played. He replaced Danny Green. It seems that Popovich is still ready to put Anxi on the court for a try, but with Anxi's recent performances, does Popovich not fear that the situation will get worse if he replaces him? With 4 minutes 22 seconds left in the first quarter, an 11 played and replaced Danny Green. After the All-Star, Angzi took advantage of his single defense to grab the starting position of Kawhi Leonard. However, after a few games, Kawhi Leonard grabbed the starting position of Danny Green. The reason is actually very simple. Nader has a strong rebounding ability, and the Spurs need to put a strong rebounding player on the third position. Because Boris Diaw is perfectly integrated into the Spurs system and has become the absolute main force of the Spurs, but Boris Diaw's rebounding is very poor. For the Spurs, it is definitely impossible to rely on Tim Duncan alone to grab the rebounds, so Kawhi Leonard is defeated Danny Green with his rebounding ability. Actually this season, Danny Green is slightly better than Kawhi Leonard in terms of personal ability, because Danny Green also has a steady three-pointer and the mid-range shot is also pretty good. Kawhi Leonard is now making the most progress in CIC with the help of Chip Engelland. He now only has a stable CIC. The offensive end is a bit worse than Danny Green, and the defensive end of the two is actually better. Almost. And Angzi led Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard after the All-Star game. His three-pointer was the most stable for the Spurs, not to mention the single defense. Therefore, the Spurs' second and third position, Angzi is Bobo Vicky's number one choice. Of course, not Manu Ginobili. Angzi came back on the field, and Staples booed. The fans here are grudges. Last time, Angzi used a key shot and a key catch and a lure block to help the Spurs take away from Staples. After the game, this group of fans remembered Angzi, plus Kobe's provocation against Angzi just now, and now Angzi played, boos all over the court. As soon as Angzi came on the field, he and Kobe looked at each other. The enemies met and were extremely jealous, especially Angzi. Kobe's cubit directly triggered Angzi's rookie wall, and the two key blocks in Angzi's last game. Kobe has never been humiliated. In this game, Angzi's goal is obvious. He just wants to prevent Kobe from copying the previous 4,717. After a timeout, the game restarted, with Tony Parker holding the ball and looking for opportunities outside the three-point line. Boris Diaw ran out from the bottom corner, and Pau Gasol followed him tightly. Boris Diaw circled to the top of the arc and took the ball from Tony Parker. After Tony Parker passed the ball, he made an empty cut and Boris Diaw made a reverse hang. Tony Parker easily cut into the inside and made a layup. The Spurs' offense is very well coordinated, and the two Frenchmen played their tacit understanding. The game continued. Kobe Bryant took the ball directly to the bottom line, rushed to the front court with the ball, and faced Angzi. Kobe held the ball in his left hand, raised his right hand, and made a gesture of pulling apart. This is for singles. It is really an enemy meeting. Kobe is about to decide the victory or defeat with Angzi. Kobe dribbled the ball, took a step back, and opened a gap with Angzi. Angzi didn't post it either. At this distance, Kobe's breakthrough was just right. He lowered the defensive center of gravity, lowered his body, extended his arms, and blocked Kobe's breakthrough route. Angzi knows that there is only one possibility for Kobe to retreat, and that is that Kobe is about to break through. The distance between him and Angzi can give him a good breakthrough space. As for a three-pointer in situ, that's a joke. With this ball, Kobe will definitely not risk missing a three-pointer. What he wants is a successful offense, a successful attack on Angzi, and the humiliation of returning to Angzi in the last game. Kobe swayed his shoulders, and the basketball was transported from side to side, cutting in from the left side of Angzi. Angzi also slipped and moved to keep up, but Kobe suddenly pulled the ball with his right hand, dribbled the ball from his back to his left hand, and made an abrupt change of direction, cutting in from Angzi's left side. Angzi saw through Kobe's change in advance. After all, this change was a bit deliberate. Angzi moved back and moved horizontally, blocking Kobe's front. At this time, Kobe changed his direction again slightly. The basketball changed hands from left to right, and he turned around, trying to bypass Angzi's defense. However, Angzi also turned around and wrapped his arms around Kobe, pressing Kobe's dribble, and rushing to the free throw line under Kobe's hard top. At the position of the free throw line, Kobe suddenly came to an emergency stop, his body leaped high, put on a standard shooting posture, leaned back for a jumper. Kobe suddenly stopped and placed it on other defensive players. It must have been eaten, but Angzi had no problem. He stopped abruptly, and then slammed his feet, knocking Kobe out just now. The basketball came down. Come on. Surprising. The state of Angzi in this game seems to be very good. Defending Kobe's singles without even a slight mistake, Myers opened his mouth in surprise. To be honest, as the Lakers' home game commentator, he must be. He is biased towards the Lakers and Kobe, so he has been making fun of Angzi's current state before. As a result, as soon as Angzi came on the court, he showed such a good defensive performance and actually took Kobe a goal again. What else can he say? On the court, the overwhelming boos explained everything. Angzi was very excited when Kobe came up again. His state was back, and the rookie wall, he broke through. Jumped a few times on the court and 11 hadn't finished his celebration yet, he waved his arms fiercely and shouted. On the sidelines, Popovich showed a faint smile and clapped his hands. From this ball, he could clearly know that Angzi broke through the rookie wall. He can rest assured of Angzi, and he doesn't have to worry about the playoffs if Angzi can't get back to form. The game continued. Tony Parker grabbed the basketball and advanced to the front court, which was another offensive round for the Spurs. Is still a small cooperation between the two French players. At the top of the arc, the two completed a hand-to-hand cooperation. Boris Diaw turned his back to the basket and supported the ball in a high position. Tony Parker rushed into the penalty area without the ball and made a cross screen with Tim Duncan. Duncan mentioned the mid-range position, received a pass from Boris Diaw, hit the ball with a big hit, and hit a jumper on the spot. Then, Ramon Sessions took the ball to the front court, lowered the rhythm, and dribbled the ball slowly from the outside, and the Lakers entered the battle. Kobe without the ball beckoned, Andrew Bynum pulled out and made a ball-free pick and roll for Kobe. Angzi followed, quickly bypassing Andrew Bynum, but Kobe was still a step away. Ramon Sessions' pass came quickly, Kobe received the ball and rushed straight into the penalty area. Tim Duncan hurried over to make up the defense. Kobe made 3 moves and made 2 moves, choosing a low hand to the basket, avoiding Angzi's blocks. The basketball dribbled around the basket twice, and then got in. Entered. There was a burst of cheers from Staples. Through the pick and roll, Kobe kicked off Angzi's defense and scored 2 points. The two of them had just gotten started, and they had a chat book. Friends are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all at mobile phone users please to read. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen San Buletinji. Chapter 118. My wives have won the championship. Congratulations to the eldest wife Hui Ruoki, the second wife Wei Kaiyu, and the third wife Zhu Ting. Wait, I am in a good mood today. 3 changes and 4 changes, hurry up and vote. Tony Parker quickly advanced to the front court, and Angzi started running without a word. His off-ball attribute has reached 70. This attribute value is enough for Angzi to run beautifully. Although it is not the top off-ball running, it is not comparable to ordinary people. According to the tactical requirements, Angzi started at the bottom corner, then suddenly went around the penalty area, made a cross screen with Tim Duncan, ran to the left 45 degrees, and suddenly ran back, throwing off Kobe, and then another. Running backwards, around to the top position of the arc. At this time Kobe has 2 sudden stops, and Angzi has long been thrown far away. Tony Parker's pass came afterwards, and an 11 made a 3-pointer at the top of the arc. There is no doubt about it. Good shot. Angzi ran off the ball to throw off Kobe and hit a three-pointer. Beautiful run without the ball. It's really beautiful. It seems that Angzi has recovered his state, and the rookie wall has been broken by him. The two CCTV commentators were also explaining the game with smiles on their faces. The game continued. Angzi reached the defensive end. With 3 consecutive offenses and defenses, Angzi was considered to have the upper hand. Kobe had a gloomy face, and came to the front court with the ball. Angzi still followed Kobe closely, neither of them said a word, and had no idea of spamming. Pau Gasol ran toward the outside line, as if he wanted to make a pick and roll for Kobe. Kobe waved his hand directly. Don't pick and roll, he wants to do it alone, he wants to go one-on-one with Angzi. Kobe held the ball in his left hand, suddenly took his left foot and made a tentative step. Angzi was unmoved. But at this time, Kobe suddenly hit his right heel, and a stride was about to break through from Angzi's right side. Angzi took a light step with his right foot and half turned around to entangle Kobe. He did not choose to take a step back to block Kobe, because Angzi knew that if he retreated, Kobe could pick up a retreat step, and then pull it up. Angzi won't be fooled by withdrawing a jumper. Sure enough, Kobe saw that Angzi didn't back up, but just turned around and entangled him, and there was nothing he could do. Kobe didn't choose to retreat anymore. He suddenly turned around, his back to the basket, his back to Angzi. Then the left and right shoulders shook wildly, bewildering Angzi, who couldn't judge the direction of Kobe's turn, so she could only stretch her hands as much as possible and wait for Kobe's final turn. Kobe's turn came quickly, but he still hid his eyes. Facing Angzi's long arm, Kobe suddenly turned to the right, as if he was about to break through from Angzi's right. Just when Angzi moved to the right, Kobe suddenly a change of direction, both legs pushed the ground, suddenly changed direction, and rushed from Angzi's left side to the restricted area. This sudden change of direction turned around, and immediately shook an 11 away for half a step, but an 11 would not give up. He still followed Kobe closely. Kobe rushed 2 steps inside, and suddenly it was an emergency stop. He knew that he couldn't rush anymore, and at Angzi's speed, he would soon chase this half step back. Therefore, Kobe made an emergency stop and shot a jumper. Behind, Angzi's hands have already touched the basketball in Kobe's hands. In an instant, Kobe's body suddenly lost his balance, and Angzi's right hand exerted force and flew the racket out. Blocks. Blocks again. Angzi killed Kobe. The big hat from behind. In just a few minutes, Kobe has eaten 2 hot pots in Angzi. Angzi landed, fingers up, and ignored the earth-shattering boos from the sidelines, even blocking Kobe. Angzi was very excited. In contrast, Kobe played very gloomy, and was blocked by Angzi. In these offensive and defensive rounds, he only scored 1 goal. He still scored 2 points from an open cut without the ball, and then Angzi paid it back. An off-ball thrown off his three-pointer. This game, he has fallen out of favor. Tony Parker was cruising outside the three-point line. In the Spurs' offensive round, Angzi hid in the corner, not looking at Kobe. At this time, Kobe's eyes were irritating. He played very stubbornly in this game, especially Angzi didn't even look at him, which made Kobe very crazy. On the defensive end, Kobe's movements got bigger. Angzi made several runs. Kobe stretched out his hand to interfere. Obviously, Kobe was on fire and was about to burst. With the Spurs offense, Angzi became a spectator again. With the cooperation of Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, Duncan made a mid-range shot. In fact, in the Spurs offense, Angzi often becomes a spectator. There is no way he can grab the starter, relying on defense. In the Spurs, Angzi's role is to defend the engineer. Angzi will do the dirty work and score assists and other people. Let's do it, but this is also in line with the definition of a role player. It can only be said that Angzi is still just a role player. Kobe is about to pass the ball outside the three-point line, raises his hand to signal his teammates to pull away. Kobe is going to single Angzi again. The paranoid Kobe will always be so disregarded. As long as he wants, he will do it. Now, Kobe is thinking about singles Angzi, singles Angzi, singles Angzi. Bryant dribbles with his back, leaning on Angzi. In terms of his back technique, Kobe should be one of the better outside lines in the league. Leaning on Angzi, Kobe sitting and fighting one after another, although not effective, can help Kobe to understand Angzi's defensive trends. After sitting and beating for a few times, Kobe suddenly turned his back. The movement was very consistent, but Angzi did not take this fake movement. However, after Kobe turned quickly, he slapped the ball with his left hand, quickly handed over to his right, accelerated with all his strength, rushed to the hoop, half of his body hit Angzi who moved a little, he staggered, the referee whistle, Kobe made it, Angzi fouled. I have to say that Kobe played this ball very cleverly and used his star whistle very well. After all, Angzi just moved a little bit. Angzi couldn't help but rush to the referee. I pretended to appeal for a few sentences, knowing that it was of no use, but Angzi still had to put a little pressure on the referee. Kobe stood on the free throw line and made 2 free throws, but he was still very unhappy because he played a little shamelessly because of this ball. Although he scored 2 points, these 2 points were obtained by fouling, which is insulated from the words of fairness. Especially after Angzi rushed to the referee to appeal, it made Kobe a little bit irritated. In the final analysis, Kobe was the ball for this goal. By a coincidence, it was not won by strength at all. As the game continued, Angzi continued to exert strength on the defensive end and on the offensive end. Because of the improvement in running properties without the ball, Angzi also ran out of 2 open positions and made 2 3-pointers. At the end of the first quarter, Angzi scored 9 points, but Kobe missed consecutively and fell into Angzi's defensive quagmire. Nice job. N. It looks like you really broke through the rookie wall. Angzi exited. Mike Budenholzer handed Angzi a towel, patted Angzi on the shoulder, and praised Quanexi. Angzi smiled embarrassedly, then nodded, and sat back in his place. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen Sanbuletnji. Chapter 119. Seeking Sanjiang votes. The old version of Sanjiang pages can vote. If you can't, you can see the voting tutorial at the end of this chapter. Help out, at least let Yuen not be the bottom, thank you. In the first quarter of the game, the Spurs led by 6 points at 31-25, and Angzi scored 9 points on 3 of 3 shots. Kobe Bryant scored 13 points on 4 of 10 shots. Considering that Kobe made 2 of the 4 goals he made before Angzi went on the court. Hit, so Angzi's real data on defense of Kobe is 2 of 7 shots, and the hit rate is extremely poor. Outside the field, the discussion about Angzi also began. Obviously, Angzi's state is back. His rookie wall has been broken. In this game, facing Kobe, Angzi seems to have improved again. In the second quarter, Brown put Kobe on the bench to rest, allowing the inside Twin Towers to take Steve Blake and others off the bench. The Spurs also replaced the bench. Manu Ginobili took Danny Green and Patrick Mills to play, while Tim Duncan stayed on the court to deal with the Lakers' interior Twin Towers. In the second quarter of the game, the Lakers showed their power inside the Twin Towers and began to slowly narrow the points difference. Pau Gasol wanted a good position, received a pass from Steve Blake, and successfully beat Dewayne Blair. Then, Andrew Bynum inside capped Manu Ginobili. The Lakers had a fast break. Steve Blake scored 2 points for a layup, and the 6-point difference in the first quarter was instantly wiped out. Popovich immediately called a timeout. He replaced Tim Duncan, who had played a full quarter in the first quarter, let Thiago split play, and ordered Patrick Mills and Manu Ginobili. Speed up all the way and use speed to defeat the Lakers inside Twin Towers. This trick works well. The Lakers have played for a long time in the Twin Towers. As soon as the Spurs speed up, the offensive end is okay, but the defensive end is completely unable to keep up. Especially Andrew Bynum, often the Spurs have ended their offense. Shark Bynum was still on the way and didn't get a good defensive position in the half. Within a few minutes, the Spurs regained a 6-point lead, and I have to say that Popovich's adjustment is effective. When Brown saw that something was wrong, he quickly called a timeout. "Bryant, have you rested now?" Kobe nodded, shook off his towel, and prepared to go on stage. On the Spurs side, Popovich also expected that Brown would definitely choose to switch to Kobe at this time. After all, he would look for Kobe when he fell behind. This is the Lakers' tradition. So Popovich chose to replace Angzi, and, "You play, replace Danny, defend Kobe." Angzi nodded, stood up, and went to the technical station to prepare for substitution. Angzi and Kobe met at the technology station. The two looked at each other, and the next second they turned their heads away, disagreeing with each other. This is the current situation of Angzi and Kobe. Jordan Hill was a bit embarrassed on the side, he was also going to play, replacing Andrew Bynum. The game restarted, with 5 minutes 22 seconds left in the second quarter. Kobe and Angzi appeared at the same time, and the two faced each other again. The Lakers served the ball, and Kobe reached out and took the ball directly, dribbling the ball from beyond the three-point line. Angzi posted it, and after resting for most of the time, Angzi felt that she was very physically strong, so she deliberately increased her physical confrontation. Kobe didn't dribble the ball quickly or slowly. When he came on the field, his main task was not to score, but to find a way to lower the tempo. The tempo was too fast and was very unfriendly to the Lakers' Twin Towers. But fortunately, Brown reacted quickly. After Kobe played, he also replaced Jordan Hill to make his inside more flexible. After doing a few hips in a row, Kobe suddenly speeded up and made a blunt breakthrough. Kobe didn't ask for any pick and rolls and didn't make any fake moves. For this ball, Kobe just used hard power to score. Angzi speeded up and rushed in a few steps. Kobe stepped on the free throw line, an emergency stop, and a large backward shot. The basketball crossed a high arc and fell into the basket. Entered. Kobe bent his arms to celebrate, Staples burst into cheers, and as soon as the second quarter opened, Kobe hit Angzi a ball, which gave many fans on the sidelines hope. Angzi was not upset either. The ball could not be simply defended. If it could be easily defended, then Kobe would not be Kobe anymore. If you leaned back by a large margin, you can't even think about defending. Angzi can only do his best. Disturbance, but this kind of large backwards thrown the ball, the original hit rate will not be high, which is why Angzi is not worried. The game continued, the Spurs attacked, Patrick Mills took possession of the ball, and an 11 hit in the corner. At the moment when Patrick Mills cut inside, an 11 started running without the ball. From the bottom corner to a 45-degree position on the other side, Angzi successfully opened up space for his teammates. Manu cut to the penalty area, Patrick Mills lobbed, Manu caught the ball and made a layup. The point difference is still 6 points. The Spurs' offense is very stable and fast, and they don't give the Lakers a chance at all. Kobe received the ball from the bottom line and controlled it all the way to the front court. This time, an 11 controlled the distance, but Kobe still dribbled the ball slowly in order to control the rhythm. Kobe played for a while, still in acceleration, rushed into the inside from the side of Angzi, but because Angzi controlled the distance, this time Angzi kept up and stood in front of Kobe steadily. As soon as Kobe made a breakthrough, an 11 posted it, with small movements in his hand, constantly interfering with Kobe's dribble. Kobe was a bit irritated by Angzi's interference. He took the ball and rushed a few steps toward the inside. It was a sudden stop and a jumper shot. "I didn't enter this time." Kobe's shooting percentage has become 5 of 12 shots. Then 1 minute later, Kobe came again with the ball. Angzi still used the same defensive method, stuck Kobe's breakthrough, and blocked Kobe's ordinary shots. There was only one purpose, to force Kobe to shoot a large backward jumper. For this ball, Kobe chose a low post singles. He carried Angzi's defense all the way to the low post and turned his back to Angzi. Guarding against backs, Angzi had learned something under the guidance of Bruce Bowen. When Kobe was sitting and meditating, Angzi let go back. When Kobe wanted to turn around, Angzi pushed forward, which made Kobe very uncomfortable. However, Kobe's back and footsteps are still very good. He keeps dribbling the ball in his hands and moves constantly under his feet. His shoulders sway left and right, swinging his body back and forth, so Angzi doesn't know what choice Kobe will make. Is turning around and breaking through? Or retreat to shoot? Or is it making a foul? Angzi concentrated and stared at the basketball in Kobe's hand. Kobe Bryant. He turned around. Jump shot, no backwards, was disturbed by Angzi. The ball was off the mark. Didn't make it? The sideline commentator shouted repeatedly, but helplessly. Angzi's blockade was very timely and the angle was very tricky, and Kobe didn't make a shot. 5 of 13 shots? Next, Angzi continued to limit Kobe on the defensive end, still using the same defensive routine, stuck Kobe's breakthrough, blocked Kobe's ordinary shots, and put Kobe back sharply. It should be said that the effect is still very good. Add a very important PS here, be sure to watch the process of voting for Sanjiang. Open the old version of Sanjiang on the computer or mobile web page, click on the lower right corner of the middle to receive the Sanjiang ticket, then drag it to the bottom, find the book, and vote for Sanjiang book. Friends are welcome to visit and read the latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are all at mobile phone users. Please go to read. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen San Buletinji. Chapter 120. In order to celebrate Yiwen's wives winning the Rio Women's Volleyball Championship, Yiwen has changed 4 chapters. Today you look at the face of these 4 chapters and the face of Yiwen's wives. Help Yiwen vote. Order the Sanjiang ticket, of course, don't forget the recommended ticket. The second quarter ended quickly. Angzi's excellent defense helped the Spurs have a 15-point advantage. In the second quarter, except for the first goal, Kobe's next few shots almost ended up with irons. He only scored a fallback jumper. At the end of the first half, Kobe's shooting data became 6 of 17 shots. 11 goals have been missed. The Spurs had a 15-point advantage, so in the third quarter, they came off the bench, hoping to give the main team more rest time. On the Lakers' side, Brown also put Kobe on the bench, hoping to calm down his mood and adjust his state. After all, the data Kobe handed over in the second quarter is simply too bad. The 2 towers that rested in the second quarter came out in the third quarter. The Lakers hope to use the power of the 2 towers to control the situation on the court, at least to catch up with the score. Now the Spurs are leading by 15 points, and the difference is still available within the chasing range. Until now, Brown hoped that Kobe could stand up and lead the Lakers to chase points and even win the game. The current situation of the Lakers is different from that of the Spurs. The Spurs have basically secured first place in the Western Conference, but the Lakers have to compete with the Clippers for third place in the Western Conference. Of course, they also have a chance to rush to second place in the Western Conference, because the Thunder and them are not far behind. So for the Lakers, the last few games, every game must be contested. In the third quarter, the Twin Towers showed their power. The Lakers really stabilized the situation and recovered some scores with the power of the Twin Towers. Popovich is not in a hurry. He knows that no matter how well the Twin Towers play, the fourth quarter is the time for the decisive battle. Judging from the current situation of the Spurs, they have the absolute upper hand. The Spurs played in the third quarter. Substitute, and the Lakers play in the Twin Towers, which is considered a semi-main force. This is different. In the end, the Spurs must have an advantage in physical fitness. And for the Spurs, it is obviously not worth the gain to send the main force to fight the main force of the Lakers. At the end of the third quarter, it seemed that he saw the hope of chasing points. Brown waved his hand and let Kobe play again. Seeing Kobe reappearing, Popovich did not say anything, did not say to change to Angzi or something. He just pulled Danny Green on the sidelines and asked the Spurs to adjust their defensive strategy, from single defense to Kobe defense and support. Folder. After Kobe played, without Angzi's elbows, the hand feeling began to explode. First, he made a mid-range shot and narrowed the difference to less than 10 points. Then before the end of the third quarter, he made 2 consecutive emergency stop jump shots and scored 4 points. At the end of the game, the Spurs lead was only 5 points left. And Kobe, who scored 3 goals in a row, his shooting stats became 9 of 20 shots, and the stats suddenly became better. An 11 off the court has no idea about this. An 11's view is the same as Popovich. It is the final quarter that really decides the outcome of this game. In the fourth quarter, the Spurs made their best effort: point guard Tony Parker, shooting guard Angzi, small forward Kawhi Leonard, power forward Boris Diaw, center Tim Duncan. On the Lakers side, Brown hesitated, and finally chose to put all the main players on the court. The last quarter of the Lakers lineup is point guard Ramon Sessions, shooting guard Kobe Bryant, and small forward Matt Barnes, power forward Pau Gasol, center Andrew Bynum. So, in the fourth quarter, our goal is to open the points as quickly as possible, and then solve the game, understand. Before going on the field, Popovich also set a goal for them. Angzi they nodded to express their understanding. After a break, their stamina is much stronger than the Lakers. If they can't open the points as quickly as possible in the fourth quarter, then Popovich's arrangement will be of no use. In the fourth quarter, the decisive battle began. The Spurs took the lead here. Tony Parker shot a three-pointer first. The Lakers quickly returned to the game. Pau Gasol made a successful mid-range shot. The point difference was maintained at around 5 points, 6 points. Points difference. Then, Tim Duncan missed a mid-range shot, Kawhi Leonard made a tip, and the Spurs widened the point difference to 8 points. At this time, Kobe got the ball. He controlled the ball from the backcourt to the front court, and Angzi posted it after halftime. There is still no dialogue between the two, only a quiet confrontation. In fact, Kobe is still a player who likes to say trash, but when he does not say trash, it shows that Kobe Bryant is serious at this time. Kobe Bryant's eyes scanned around, observing the Spurs' defense. Of course, for the entire Spurs, the most headache for Kobe is naturally Angzi. In the last match between the two, if Kobe can be said to be a small winner, then in this game, Angzi has crushed Kobe. Kobe glanced at Angzi, then slowly lowered his head, lowered his body, and controlled the ball. The whole person was like a dormant mamba snake, constantly looking for a chance to kill his opponent with one blow. Kobe Bryant, he is facing Angzi's defense, Staples commented on the sidelines, shouting Myers. Kobe Bryant's breakthrough. With this loud shout, Kobe Bryant moved. He first took a probing step and found that Angzi didn't move. Kobe took this probing step and rushed into the three-point line one step at a time. Angzi tangled up, but Kobe didn't rush too deep. He rushed to a position 5 steps away from the basket and stopped suddenly. Kobe. His emergency stop jumper. With a very large back, Myers continued to shout for the explanation, but then, with a bang, Myers' voice became quieter. It's a pity that I didn't make it, but Tim Duncan took the rebound. Kobe didn't make it again, and Kobe shook his hand depressedly. He found that once he faced Angzi's defense, he couldn't get rid of Angzi's defense, except by pick and roll, but the Lakers did not have a routine. Their pick and roll tactics, they only have ordinary pick and roll tactics, which is to pull out the inside to give Kobe a pick and roll. This kind of pick and roll has several disadvantages. One is that it is easy to lose offensive rebounds. The other is that even if you pick and roll, it is difficult to get a good offensive opportunity, because the Spurs will also have someone to defend. Kawhi Leonard is just waiting. Although the single defense is worse than in Creek, Kawhi Leonard is one of the best single defense players in the league. Kobe is very depressed, but the Spurs' offense is progressing very smoothly. Returning to the offensive end, the small cooperation of Boris Diaw and Tony Parker gave them a chance to shoot again. Boris Diaw shot at the middle distance, although there was Pau Gasol. The interference, but the interference was a step slower. Boris Diaw still scored 10 points, the point difference widened to 10 points. In this way, the Spurs can quickly control the point difference within a range that can ensure that they win the game. Kobe looked cold, he didn't stop, and once again asked for the ball from Ramon Sessions. Singles play Angzi, the paranoid Kobe is just like a devil, even if the continuous offense is not good, he still wants to play Angzi. This time, he didn't make any extra fake moves. Kobe and Angzi had so many goals against him. He also saw that Angzi is a difficult defender. Any fake moves are useless. It's better to be head-on. Rushed to the free throw line, Kobe made a straight back, but then, with a bang, he still missed. 2 consecutive irons. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, Kobe's offensive point still can't be opened when facing Angzi's defense. Book friends are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are all at for mobile phone users. Please go to read. Super Role Player. Author, Yuen Sanbulatinji. Chapter 121. It's 0 o'clock again, a chapter update is sent. Did you see the chapter title? Yes, today is the third watch again, so don't forget to drop the recommendation ticket. Today is Monday. The fourth quarter game quickly reached the final stage. Facing Angzi's defense, Kobe's jumper hit the iron again. Throughout the fourth quarter, Kobe made 13 shots and only hit 3 goals. As a result, the Lakers fell behind by a big score. Therefore, with 3 minutes left in the game, the Lakers chose to give up 3 of 13 shots. This is the stats that Bryant handed over against Angzi's defense in the last quarter. With the previous 9 of 20 shots, Kobe's data in this game is 12 of 33 shots and 35 points. The shooting percentage is only 36%, the efficiency is extremely low. If the goals scored during the non-Angzi matchup are removed, Kobe's data in this game is 7 of 27, and his shooting percentage is only 26%. Therefore, Angzi achieved his pre-match goal in this game. With 3 minutes left in the game, the Spurs steadily maintained a 20-point lead. After the two sides replaced all the main players, the game was over. Angzi pulled the corner of his clothes and wiped the sweat from his neck. He was still very successful in defense against Kobe in this game, but his own physical consumption was also a bit large. In the fourth quarter, Kobe also struggled, although he was stuck in singles. In the paranoia of fighting alone, but every ball, Kobe Bryant will do his best, which makes Angzi also have to put more energy than Kobe to defend. Slowly walked off the field, Angzi did not return to his seat, and lay down directly under the technical desk. Lying comfortably, an 11 narrowed his eyes. Suddenly, an 11 felt a rush of heat next to him. An 11 opened his eyes and looked at it. Kobe actually sat down beside an 11. Angzi was stunned, and turned around blankly, looking at the court. What's the situation? Kobe, what is he doing next to me? Angzi watched the game blankly. Fortunately, there were only a dozen seconds left in the game. Both teams gave up offensive and defensive. With the beep of the timer, the game officially ended. At Staples, the Spurs scored 108 on away. 89 beat the Lakers. Anzi, who was on the floor under the technical stage, stood up with his hands on the ground, while Kobe next to him had already stood up. He stretched out his hand towards Anzi. Anzi also had to stretch out his hand and shook hands with Kobe. Kobe showed a slight smile. "Your defense is very strong, the strongest defense I have ever seen." Well, Anzi has to say that Kobe at this moment seems to be exuding a kind of personality charm, cannot help but make Anzi forget what Kobe did in previous games, and forget that his rookie wall was because of Kobe's elbow. And what appeared? At this moment, Kobe is very polite, but think about it, Kobe is an opponent on the field, and off the field is, I'm probably not a friend. For Kobe's praise, Anzi responded with a smile, "Your offense is also very strong." Anzi's response made Kobe's facial muscles twitch. Anzi's response was a bit advanced and black, but Anzi didn't pay attention, but Kobe thought about it. "My offense is very strong? What is your defense when I miss the defense in a row?" Kobe is speechless, but there is no way. He lost miserably in this battle. Although there is still a battle between the Lakers and Spurs this season, that battle is already the last game of the season. Considering that the next day is the season. In the playoffs, I am afraid that neither the Spurs nor the Lakers will send a main force. This battle with the Lakers is over. After the game, the dialogue between Kobe and Anzi also meant to cool the tension between the two. As I said before, they are the opponents on the court, and they are off the court. It's a little bit sympathetic. In this game that broke through the rookie wall, Anzi finally made 6 of 9 shots, including 4 of 5 three-pointers and scored 16 points. After improving without the ball, Anzi really got more opportunities on the offensive end. The 16 points of Anzi in the game were still scored in less than 20 minutes of playing time. Of course, the Lakers did not pay enough attention to Anzi's research and attention, which is also the main reason. After all, Anzi's off-ball has just improved, and before the game Anzi is considered to be deeply trapped in the rookie wall. Who would have thought that Anzi would have broken the rookie wall in this game? After the game ended, the focus of the game was naturally on Anzi, who defended against Kobe 2,707. In addition, he broke through the rookie wall. American reporters naturally became more interested in Anzi's performance. An's performance is really great. Yes, he was caught in the rookie wall before, but in this game, he proved with his performance that he has broken the rookie wall. He performed very well tonight, like this defensive performance can indeed help us in the playoffs. Popovich answered a lot of questions about Anzi in the press conference after the game, so that when Popovich returned to the locker room, Anzi teased. In front of everyone in the locker room, he said, "Today's press conference is very exciting." It was a personal press conference about the big star Anzi. Okay, who is going to help Anzi carry a bag? Let our big stars suffer. The locker room burst into laughter, and Manu Ginobili continued to booze, trotting to the side of Anzi like a rabbit. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'll help you carry your bag, An. Anzi was so scared that he quickly put his bag behind him, kidding, let Manu carry the bag. This guy is holding back bad, and he may not decide how to fix himself on the return trip. Anzi said repeatedly, no need, no need. The Spurs boarded the return flight amidst the laughter. Back in San Antonio, the Spurs played against the Sacramento Kings at home. Popovich again made a significant rotation. Anzi boarded the starting lineup. In the starting lineup, except for Anzi, there are substitute players, center Kwame Brown and power forward Dewayne Blair. What, but the Spurs still won the game. Anzi continued to play well in this game. The whole game was 6 of 11 shots and 17 points, plus 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Played well in 2 consecutive games, and Angzi's rookie wall has already been steadily broken. The next few games are not very important. For the Spurs, they have almost locked the first place in the Western Conference and the league. For the remaining games, the most important thing is not the victory of the game. On the one hand, they have to let the main players rest, on the other hand, they have to let the substitute players get enough exercise to deal with the upcoming playoffs. At this time, Popovich also started to have a headache for the playoffs. According to league regulations, each team in the playoffs can only submit a squad of 12 people, and only when there is an injury can submit an application to the league to replace one of the 3 players outside the squad to the squad within. For Popovich, what he needs to have a headache now is the 3 players he should remove from the Spurs list, and for the marginal players of the Spurs, they are also the most nervous at this moment. For a period of time, you are welcome to visit and read. The latest, fastest, and hottest serial works are available at mobile phone users. Please go to read.